Planet Dolan. From predicting a family member's death to explaining the best way to kill themselves, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the creepy things kids have ever said. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I'll be in narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Ceiling Fan Duck. Emoji's friend in preschool was talking about sex when the teacher walked over, concerned, and asked her if she, really knew what sex was. Emoji's friend replied, "It's when a man wearing black breaks into your house," she began, which was already enough for a teacher to call her parents, but then she continued with, "Then he chokes you, and you wake up as a baby." Kinky. Number 9 was submitted by Snoop Loops. Sid was at Vacation Bible School volunteering as a storyteller for kindergarten kids, telling them about the different Bible characters. One of the kids was saying that Jesus was everyone's friend, so Sid ad-libbed and said,
"I wish I could meet him. Maybe he could be my friend."
The kid replied with a completely emotionless face,
"You have to die to meet him. He could probably drown, since you said you can't swim."
Number 8 was submitted by Annex Brankin. When Ursa was 7, she was having a sleepover with her best friend. Her friend fell asleep during a movie, but Ursa stayed awake to watch. Out of nowhere, Ursa's friend randomly sat straight up in bed, looked directly at her with wide eyes, and she simply said, "Be careful." After a few seconds of silence, Ursa asked, "Of what?" A few more seconds passed before she simply said,
"People."
Before immediately falling back asleep. Number 7 was submitted by Potato Smile 62. When Melissa's aunt Lisa was dying of cancer, she was crying in the kitchen about it. Her 5-year-old sister came in the room and said, "Lisa not died today, she died in the morning." The next morning, Melissa's mother woke her up to say that her aunt died at 6 AM. Melissa asked her sister how she knew, and she said, "Oh, the girl told me so." Number 6 was submitted by Cat Linares. One day when Salty Scoot was babysitting his nephew, he ran up to Salty saying there was a monster under his bed. Salty shrugged it off, told him there was nothing to worry about. After an hour, the nephew came back looking even more terrified. He said, "The monster is big, black and scary, shaped like a snake, penetrates anything until all the fluids come out of their body." Salty Scoot was a bit concerned about the level of detail, so he decided to have a look. After checking under the bed, he turned around and the boy had a knife. He said, "Don't move."
The monster wants his meal.
Number 5 was submitted by That One Princess. One night, Ramona was sitting in bed with her 4-year-old sister as she slept. Suddenly, Ramona's sister sat straight up in bed, looked over at her and said, "Sissy, the dark man is coming for you," with a straight face. Ramona's sister then broke down in hysterical tears. She kept screaming, "I don't want you to die, Sissy. I don't want you to die." After 15 minutes, Ramona couldn't even talk to her. Her sister cried until she was gasping for air. Finally, her sister calmed down, fell asleep 2 hours later. Ramona, on the other hand, had a little bit of a hard time sleeping. Number 4 was submitted by Millie Senpai. Andy was babysitting her 6-year-old cousin. For no real reason, he pointed at her heart and said, "One day your heart will stop. That's how you'll die. That's how heart attacks work, and you should get it fixed." Andy was so creeped out, she called the kid's mum. Turns out, Andy's cousin told his mum almost the same thing, only about getting brain cancer. Number 3 was submitted by Running AWOL 411. Pringle was babysitting a kid who was upset because Pringle was preparing to go home. Pringle was walking out the door. The kid asked for a hug, so he did. While he hugged the kid, he leaned in and whispered,
"If you ever leave me, I will make sure every person in the world, especially the ones you love, die a horrible death."
Number 2 was submitted by Chub Shake. Tolop and his brother went to the park to think of ideas for his Star Wars party. Tolop's brother got his friend and they came up with the idea to take all of Tolop's stuffing, fill him up with candy, hang him from a tree branch, and have everyone hit him with a stick until he breaks open and everyone eats the candy that spills out. Tolop had a hard time walking his brother home that day. Number 1 was submitted by me. It was the creepiest thing I ever heard a kid say. Well, I remember my brother told me about one of his friends and what he said, which actually genuinely creeped me out here in this story. Apparently, his friend was like, I don't know, 6, 7, something like that. And he was sleeping, and his mum came in just to kind of check up on him, and he got up. When she checked the bed, he wasn't there. Then she noticed the kid was standing at the window just staring out into the backyard, and she's like, "You okay? Like, what's up?" He didn't say anything. He didn't move. He wasn't even blinking. He's just standing there. So she went closer to him, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And then he looked at her. He turned around, he looked at her, and he said,
They're coming.
and that was it. He went back to bed. He fell straight asleep. It was like he was sleepwalking. His mum nearly shit her pants. Like, who is they? Who is they? Anyway, huge thanks to the folks over at Planet Doll subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the cringiest thing anyone has ever said to you? Let us know on the Reddit page link below, and you might be featured in our future countdown. That's it for this video.
And have a good one!